There's a lot of sounds in the background. I'm doing this in public in a way. Not really, but I wonder why I'm not doing it in public. I could go to school right now and sit in the middle of the main cafeteria or something and just speak it out loud. I could do that. But I won't. Something I need to work on. Something I want to work on. I'm going to work on. Okay, I have this written down. I have, an essay, but I feel like I'm gonna get off track a little bit because of the noise, and also because I know what I want to say, but I don't really know what I want to say. I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay. I would never, under any circumstances, hurt another human being. Period. End of discussion. That is my truth. I would never hurt a living being. That's it. Okay, but imagine it's 9 a.m. on a Wednesday and my class is asked the question, would you kill a baby? Okay, it's not just would you kill a baby, it's imagine you're an indentured servant and you're forced to breastfeed your master's baby. And your own baby is kept from you. The master treats you like a slave, like cattle, like an animal. And you do not have the ability to kill the master, but you can kill his baby. Baby's completely innocent. Would you kill the baby? Again, it's 9 a.m. on a Wednesday. Every single person in that class, at least everyone that said something, said yes. I think that scared me. No, I know that scared me. That scared me that everyone said yes. But I listened. They gave really good arguments. Like, there's nothing that they said that I didn't necessarily agree with. And they used evidence and they challenged moral hurdles beautifully, eloquently, and they stood their ground, And someone said that they would hurt that baby as much as they possibly could. That the baby does not deserve life, and they would shoot that baby in the head. And they imitated the gun when they did that. They put their fingers out like this, I think. It was like, I'd shoot that baby right in the head. I know that scared me. I was in shock, I think. My mouth was hanging open. I think one of the TAs looked at me and knew that I was scared. I've never been in a room with people who had thought that way, I guess. I'd never been in a room where I had so adamantly disagreed with the majority of the people in that room. And I'm being honest, I thought that was disgusting. I thought that they were terrible people. That they didn't have any humanity. But that question was asked, I think, about halfway through the semester. So I knew at that point that something was going wrong in my brain. The wind picking up right there. Something was wrong. I was thinking something wrong, and I knew that because everyone else in the room agreed. And I'm not saying, you know, if everyone agrees on one thing, you should follow that. Like, obviously not. But the majority of things that have been said in this class is something that I'd agreed with. And we'd come to this point where I didn't agree. Something was wrong here. Something was wrong, I think, in my brain rather than what was going on in the class. And then I see that the difference between me and the rest of the class is that I'm basically the only white person in that class. I think there's maybe one or two other students, but I'm basically the only other white person in this class. So if I'm gonna go out on a limb here, I'm gonna say that my disagreeing with that probably has something to do with my whiteness. I'm just gonna put it out there. So I knew that there was something wrong there. Changing the subject briefly. I think I have always been a little bit confused when people of color say that they do things for their ancestors or like through their ancestors. That they like speak within and through them. I think I've kind of understood that a little bit more recently, but in a very different way. Because I think I realized, maybe not in the moment, but I'm realizing now that me thinking that they had lost their humanity by killing that baby, that's my ancestors. Those are my ancestors speaking through me. The hundreds and hundreds of years of colonialism that my ancestors have done, whether they knew it or not, had led them to say that into my brain. So obviously me thinking that another human being is inherently outside of humanity because of their ability to commit violence against someone else is just inherently wrong. Hi.
Hi. Good for you?
Not for me, I think just... What I'm trying to say is that my ability to think that someone else is not human is more than just my evolutionary instincts, obviously. And I know that my morals come from my family. My family comes from my culture, and my culture is formed from colonialism. I mean, it's formed from other things as well, but it's formed from colonialism. But then I realized that I can't blame this on my family. I can't blame this on my culture or colonialism. Because I said that, I mean, in my brain, I said that they are less than human for thinking that. They are wrong. I am scared of them. I said that, not my family. I mean, like, sure, there's connections to my family, and you know, but I said that at the end of the day. I'm the only white woman in that room, and I said that. And I think it's time to admit that's racist. That's racist. And then as a white person, I think, okay, I'm racist, great, cool. Everyone is better than me, and I'm a white girl, and I can just go fuck myself. I'm a terrible human being. And I don't know when I started thinking this past semester, but I think there was a moment where I was like, what if I say that sincerely? Like, I'm saying like a lot, but what if I said that I'm a racist sincerely and harshly? Like, I'm so fucking serious. I'm racist. Everyone is better than me. And I'm just a white girl. And I can go fuck myself. Because I am a terrible human being. It does not make me feel very good to say that, sure. It doesn't feel right. Can't stop that. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel guilty. And it makes me feel racist to say that I'm a racist. But if I put the feeling of feeling racist on a scale with being oppressed, you know. Maybe I'm rambling. I remember when I was younger, I asked my mom. She's a white liberal. I don't think she's super far left, but I asked her how she feels when she's called racist. And she hates it. She argues that it's not true and that there's not a fiber of her being that doesn't like people of color, blah, blah, blah. But mind you, I didn't ask her if she was a racist. I asked her how she felt about being called a racist. But she immediately took a defensive position. She was readying for an attack. And she had to like defend herself against being a racist. And I do the same thing. It's not just my mom. It's basically every white person you've ever met in your entire life. But it's just interesting that we immediately take a defensive position. Because in a white body, that's acceptable. I think inherently me and my mom and every white person ever is inherently armoring up for a war that is always around the corner, right? But the war for us is never gonna come, and we're never gonna have to fight it. We can just pretend that we're strong enough to do so. But what's funny is that war for us is never gonna come, but there is a war happening, and we are winning. Okay. I am definitely going on a tangent here. I'm gonna try to get back to the actual subject. It's 9 a.m. on a Wednesday. We have just been asked, would you kill the baby? I would not kill that baby due to my morals, my Christianity, and what I consider my kindness and my peace. But the reason that I don't want to kill that baby is because I would be starting violence unnecessarily. In my mind, I would be starting violence unnecessarily. But if someone else kills the baby, a person of color kills that baby, they are then the ones that are starting that violence unnecessarily. Then they are the problem. But I need to realize, and other white people need to realize, that that violence is not coming from them. It is inherent. It's inherently under my feet continuously every single minute of every single day, and I'm letting it happen. And me killing that baby is not unnecessarily starting the violence if the violence has already been started for millennia. It's really hard because I can't say that I condone violence right now. It's been so hammered into me, especially as a Christian. That's something that I really truly believe. But I condone violence every day by the actions that I take and the things that I say and the things that I do, whether I know it or not. It's inherent to this society. And it just does, both don't work. I can't alter my morality, at least right now. And I wouldn't kill that baby. I can't kill that baby right now. But what I can start to change is my view on morality, my morality in regards to other people's violence against that baby, for example. I don't know how I'm gonna go about this, but I just want to try and give people of color the ability to get angry and violent. I want them to be in a space where they can be angry, cruel, and hateful, and I don't shed crocodile tears. That I can step the fuck back and let them feel anger without the consequences of my white fear. Because why am I allowed to get angry without consequences, but they're not? I'm not stereotyped in that way. I need to see people of color get angry and then step the fuck back. Not because I'm scared, but because I have to. It's not my place, it's their place. They deserve a place to be fucking angry and violent without consequence. Does that make sense? I don't know. I feel like I'm just rambling. I mean, this fucking video is 20 minutes long. It's not supposed to be 20 minutes long. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to... The class that I took, but I technically wasn't even in. I was like auditing it or whatever. I don't even know what I was doing. It made me feel guilty. And I think I needed to feel guilty. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. I do not deserve to cry about shit like this. People of color deserve to get angry and violent, and for me to not ruin that with my fucking tears. Because I have not gone through hardship. In my little bubble, it might look bad, but not to them. I don't know what the end goal of this video is. I'm not trying... Well, I guess I am trying to say something. I'm trying to say that I don't deserve to feel scared. And I deserve to feel guilty. Maybe I'm not actually guilty, but if feeling guilty can be the first step to Black radicalism, then why don't I do that? You know? What's the downside of feeling guilty then? There is no downside. So I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna start by feeling guilty because I am a racist inherently. And I guess if you clicked on this from like my Instagram or whatever and you're like my white peer, especially if you go to my school, just start by feeling guilty. Because I've heard a lot of people like on campus that are like, no, I won't say that, but like people are just, I hear the wrongdoings in my own head. I hear the wrongdoings and I want to change it. I am trying to change it. So I just encourage you to try to change your thinking first. Because if you can't change your actions, which I think is bullshit, but if you can't change your actions, might as well try to change your thinking first. I think that's a good place to start. And this is a good place to stop. I hope it picked up what I was saying. It's kind of loud. I should get the courage to say this in public rather than like online or something. I should.